Last year, we partnered with Defense Systems for their active shooter and medical response training, and throughout the training, it was pretty evident that there may come a time where something is needed beyond just active shooter training. In our world, we deal with a lot of heavy equipment, and the risk for an accident is pretty high, and oftentimes when an accident happens, it can be pretty bad. And so I realized pretty quickly in the training that while I was learning a lot about the active shooter component, the medical response side was way more likely that I would have to need that at some point. During the training, it was pretty evident that I needed to get a tourniquet. I had not kept one with me before, so shortly after the training I got one, kept it in my car. It was pretty clear in that training that there's not a clear substitute for having a tourniquet on you. So about a year after the training, I was building a fence in my yard, and it was a hot summer day. I'd gotten about 90% of the fence completed, and probably like a lot of people, got a little bit careless towards the end. And at the same time, there was a malfunction on the saw that I was using, and came in contact with the saw blade on my forearm and cut halfway through my arm. I remember in the training with Defense Systems asking when a tourniquet is needed, and the response was, you will know just based purely on the amount of blood. And after looking down at the injury and the towel, I knew at that point that was a lot of blood and that a tourniquet was needed. I sent my son to get the tourniquet out of my car while my wife drove me to the hospital. On the drive to the hospital, I kept the towel and kept pressure on the wound while he reached around from the back seat while I explained to him and instructed him how to put the tourniquet on. Thankfully, we had done a little bit of practicing at home, and so it was pretty easy how to tell my son how to do the tourniquet and how to make sure that it was put on properly. Because of the hands-on part of that training, that's exactly what helped me to be able to explain that to my son. Showing something on a screen is good, but that part of the training without hands-on is exactly what helped me in that situation. What this training did for us at Thompson Machinery is we realized that we needed to have tourniquets in all of our service trucks. Prior to that, we have service technicians out there on job sites, oftentimes by themselves. And if an accident happens, the tourniquet can definitely be a life-saving device for them as well. So because of my accident, we got tourniquets for all of our service trucks. When the time comes, you've got to be able to step up and rely on the training that you've had. Understanding what to do in an emergency in a high blood loss situation, understanding how important a tourniquet is, there is no substitute, understanding how to use it, how to explain to somebody else how to use that tourniquet. It literally saved my life.